Good morning, guys. I'm coming with you today with just a nice, easy, yummy stretch. Okay, we don't spend enough time releasing our bodies. And I think this is a time right now, I don't know about you, but for me, where I have great days and then I have days that feel really overwhelming and heavy. And I just need to let go of some stuff. So if that's how you're feeling, this is going to feel good, even if it's just places that you're stuck in your body. And I want you to, as always, you're going to listen to your body and you're going to breathe into it, connect your breath to the stretches that we're going to do, and modify where you need to, right? Your range of motion might not be the same as mine. It might not be the same right side to left side. So just go where it feels good. Take a breath. Maybe you push into it, let go into it a little deeper. If it's not feeling good, you back it off, okay? Have water close by too, because you do still get hot in stretches. We're gonna kind of melt into it, okay? So this is a melt, a body melt is what we're calling this. And I want you to find and make the positions that we get into accessible to you. And I want them to serve your body. So I don't want you to force yourself into something and be kind of hanging in it and not able to let go because we're stuck up here and our bodies are stuck and stiff. So have props around you. Props are your friend, okay? Props don't make things easier in the sense of, a lot of people think that it makes things easier, it's cheating. It's not. It's just helping your body reach and attain new goals, essentially. So have things around you, and I know we're all stuck at home, so you might not have the same things I do. I've got two different kinds of yoga blocks. I've got a meditation bean pillow, but you could use, cushions off your couch. This one's kind of more of a firm one, which is kind of nice to be sitting up on top. Maybe you've got a smaller, squishier one as well. Maybe you have a big bolster or a smaller pillow, any sort of things like that. Just kind of gather them around you. They're going to help you sit up taller, turning off your hip flexors. They're going to make the ground easier to push out of and make the ground more accessible for opening. If you have balls at all, so like this is a bender ball, or this brand isn't bender, but it's that squishy medium ball. Maybe it's a kid's ball you have, or maybe you use the pillow, okay? And I don't know that we'll get to all of these things, but these are just, I might just mention in the stretches where you could incorporate them if you're feeling like you can't let go into it. And if you have any sort of, these are squishy, they're not hard, so I don't know if you can see that they're very squishy. They're amazing for on your sacrum, either side of the sacrum, even into the hip flexors, but they're squishy. So even if you were to use, again, you could have kids' balls that are like this, or even for on the back, tennis balls are nice as well. There is still a bit of squish. They're not quite as pliable as this. So you might need to breathe a little deeper, move around a little bit more, okay? Another thing that you might want is a band or a strap. So this is a resistance band, a TheraBand. This is a yoga strap. You could use a belt. You could use a housecoat tie, whatever you've got, okay? Like I said, we might not use all of these today, but just kind of have them all in a basket. That's what I do. I'm a basket freak. So I've got baskets everywhere that have my toys in them, so that I can just grab them and add them into my workouts wherever I might need them, okay? So I just want you to stand up. So hopefully my head is not cut off here. And I want you to just rise onto your toes and roll down. So I'm actually gonna stand up onto my Cadillac here, and just so that I can show you. And I want you to go back into the heels, lift the toes, spread them out, plant the toes, and then lift the heels up. And then I'm going to slowly lower the heels down. So I'm on a bit of a squishy surface. I've put myself up on my Cadillac on my yoga mat rather than the floor, just for the camera angle. If you're on the floor, you might find It's easier on a hard surface than your squishy mat to do this part. You're gonna roll back, pick the toes up, plant them down. So you're looking for the toe beds. You wanna get right into those little toe mounds. Push out of them, articulate through the foot, and drive it up. You could hold onto the wall, hold onto a counter, and slowly articulate down. Roll it back. My knees are long, my legs are long, but my knees aren't jammed out behind me. They're a little bit soft, but strong. Roll the shoulder down. Think about tall out of the crown of the head. Again, push into the toe mounds, starting to lift up, almost suctioning underneath the arch of the foot. And then rolling it back down, lifting those toes up one more time. Rolling it forward, pushing those toe mounds into the ground. Start to find that suction cup. Start to articulate through the metatarsals of the foot, pulling the heel up the back line of the leg. And then you're going to slowly lower it. And then just bend into it. Nice and easy. And stand. And again, bend. And stand. And bend. That's it. One more time. Just bend and stand. From the top, let the arms hang. You're going to lengthen the neck, nod the chin, and just start to carve the upper ab curl out as you find sort of that candy cane hook. So you're sort of hanging from mid-thoracic, and then you're going to keep scooping the belly. I'm going to maybe start to soften my knees here a little bit. Keep carving the belly up, articulating down, vertebra by vertebra. Take a breath at the bottom. Soften the knees as much as you need to let it kind of hang at the bottom. Big breath in, push into those toe mounds. Think of the suction cup in the arch. The heel, fire up the back line of the leg into the glutes. Start to scoop from low belly. Start to articulate back up through that flexion, creating space between each vertebra, rounding those shoulders down and back nice and tall. Take a deep breath. And again, lengthen the neck, nod the chin. Start to carve the upper thoracic to mid-thoracic. So you're sort of at the bra strap line. Checking with those knees. Keep scooping low belly. Carving it out to the bottom. Let it hang here. Bend the knees more if you need to. And just nod your head no. Let the neck go. Nod it yes. Take a breath. Now push out of the feet. Fire through the back line of the legs. Scoop low belly. Carving. Restacking. And let it go. Beautiful, guys. Breathe. So you could keep doing those all day long. They feel so yummy. Now I want you to take your heels together and toes apart. Okay, so you're sort of in this position. You're here. Squeezing those heels together, you're going to take one arm up. You're going to start to reach towards the ceiling, opening the side ribs. Let this other arm lengthen down the body and push the hip out. And just breathe. And then reach up. And that arm comes down. Other side is going to rise up. Take a breath. Reach towards the ceiling. Squeeze the heels together. Opening the ribs. Pushing the hip out. Gliding the arm down. Breathe into it. Reach up. One more each side. Lengthen up. Reach out of the fingertips. Start to open up the rib cage. So you're carving the underside, opening the top side. So you're not just collapsing over, you're trying to find that sort of rainbow idea. Push into those feet, that tripod's still active. Reach up and pull and restack those bones. Just trying to yawn you open through that lateral line of the body. Over you go. Breathe. And reach and let it go. Nice, you guys. So this sort of reaching and stretching and folding. It just sort of brings you into your center so that you're present now, hopefully, okay? And again, like I said, you could keep doing that. Like that sort of stuff is so yummy in the morning, right when you get up or right before you go to bed. Feels so good, especially if you've been sitting all day. So we're going to come down, and this is very gentle. So like I said, listen to your body. Modify if something's not feeling good, back off out of it, okay? So you're just going to come onto your hands and knees. The knees are underneath the hips. Hands are under the shoulders. Think of a long line from the tail out the crown of the head. You could have your toes curled under here, or if you can, you flatten the tops of the feet out. That can be extreme, okay, especially when we live in this sort of position. But if you can, you're pushing the tops of your feet and shins into your mat. Take a breath here. And then if you just relax it, like if I relax it, I'm hanging here, okay? And very lordotic curve in my back. So I have to attach my Pilates breath to that. So I'm breathing in through my nose, exhaling through pursed lips as I funnel the ribs to the hips. And that puts me into my neutral spine. And then I kind of have to try and hang out there, but keep checking in. So take a breath from your neutral spine. And now you're going to exhale, scoop low belly into the back as you start to curl the pelvic wheel. Start to curl the rib wheel. So here's that hanging from that mid back, like we just did in our standing roll down. Take a breath here. And then exhale, start to release from the pelvic wheel with control, not dumping into it. And you're slowly mushing open into a little bit of an extension here. Deep breath in. Exhale, scooping the pelvic wheel. Rolling through the spine, articulating into flexion, pushing the ground away from you. Big inhale breath. And then releasing from the tail. Wheeling through pelvic wheel, rib wheel, mushing the chest, rolling the shoulders down and back. One more time, guys. Pelvic wheel starts to roll. That's it. Pushing the ground away from you. Push the tops of the feet into your mat. Find that cat. Big breath. And one more time, start to articulate from the tail. Releasing it through. Strong everything into your cow. Take a breath. And then you're going to articulate and release to your neutral spine. Nice. You're going to reach now in this same position. If you have a block, you know what, you could probably even use a book as long as it doesn't open up on you if you're going to have it this way. The block is designed to bring the ground a little closer to you, okay? And it's in this stretch anyways. We're going into a variation of thread the needle, but we're using it more for a stretch than a flow. So you could have it like this. You could have it like this. Just be careful, it will be wobbly. But you could be here, you could be here. You could be on the ground if you don't have a block. That's fine too. I kind of like using the edge of the block because we're gonna open. So this is my bad shoulder. So I have to prop it. Because if I open from here, that's about as far as I can get. If I use a block and I push up and out of it, it's just lengthened me that much more that I can get my arm up. All right? We're going to do a couple without the leg, and then we're going to open that same leg back so that you get a nice push side bend, okay? Or side opener. So take a deep breath here. I'm starting with it under my right hand. Take a breath and just exhale and open. So you might not go very far, right? Especially with that leg down or the knee down. Breathe out through those fingertips and then slowly rotate it back. Inhale, breath. Exhale, push out of the block or the floor and open. And slowly bring it back down. One more time, big inhale, push out of that block, exhale and open. And sweep the arm back down. This time, the same arm and leg. Okay, right from this position, push out of the ground, and you're going to open. You pivot that foot and you just reach. That's it. Take it overhead. Reach it back up, and then fold it back in. Inhale, exhale, push up, lengthen, open. Reach for the ceiling, reach overhead, nice long line, back to the ceiling, start to carve the belly, fold it all back in. One more, guys. Open it, lengthen, reach. Overhead, big breath. Back up to the top. Start to carve the belly out. Center everything again. You're going to push back. Just release. Take a breath. Curl the spine up. Roll through the wrists. Okay, so that can get very wristy, right? So just pay attention to it. That's also where it's kind of nice if you're on a block. You can get that wrist a little straighter than when it's down here. You're going to move your block to the other side. You're going to find your 4-point position. You're going to take a breath, and you're going to open that arm up. Both knees stay down. And release. And again, I'm going to turn myself around so you can see me. You're going to open that arm up. So you can see on this side already, I have way more range of motion than my bad side. And back down. One more time, take a deep breath in. Open it. And back down. Take a breath here. I'm going to lengthen my leg, and I'm going to open. I'm going to reach overhead and back up. And I'm going to carve and come back to center. Take a breath here. Push out of the block or the ground. Lengthen, open. Reach overhead. Back up. Scoop the belly. Center the body. One more time. Push the ground away. Open it. Reach. Big breath. Reach for the sky. Reach overhead, long line. All the way back up. Folding yourself back in. And let it go. And roll through those wrists. You can always do a little bit of this and let it go. Okay, we're going to use a pillow. So if you have a pillow close by, if you don't, you could use a block if you have it. You don't need anything. I just find my hip flexors are very tight these days. So I just want to sit up a little bit higher. So I'm going to sit up on top of this. I want you to be nice and tall. So you got to remove the meat from the bones. So pull those cheeks out so that you can feel rooting down through your sit bones. You're going to flex the toes to the nose, dig the heels in. So the back line of the leg is on. We're just going to twist a little bit here. So before I got into this position, I should have grabbed this. If you have a ball or a block or a pillow, we're just going to be passing it, maybe applying a little bit of pressure to it. So it can be done without for sure. I want you to think in this position though, you're stomping the heels. I don't want you to collapse the knees because then everything's just turned off, plus it's jamming your knees out. and then you kind of end up doing this. So sit, stack right nice and tall out of those sit bones. Activate the back line of the legs and hold on to your ball or pillow. It's going to be in front of you. You're going to apply a little bit of pressure to it. You're tall out of the crown of your head, and you're going to grow taller as we do this, okay? So this is a spine twist, a Pilates spine twist. And we're going to sit nice and tall. You're going to squeeze the ball, and you're just going to exhale slowly, like air coming out of a balloon. Keep the balls or pillow centered to your chest. Don't let the low body move. It's anchored. And then inhale back to center. And you're going to exhale, stay tall, twist. Inhale, stay tall, back to center. So just make a little note in your head of what you're looking at when you turn. And every time you twist, are you maybe seeing a little bit more? And what is it like right side to left side? That's it. One more time. Twist. And back to center. Take a deep breath in. Dig into the sit bones, the heels. Lengthen the arms out. You can keep a soft bend in the elbow. You're going to keep the ball in the left hand. The right hands and fingers are reaching forward as you exhale. There you are, reaching, staying tall. Now close that arm and twist the torso. The ball switches, grow energy out those fingertips. Stay tall and twist and open. What are you looking at? So again, check into that eye line. Follow it around. Reach and open. What can you see on your journey? The focus is not this end position. It is that entire rotating, twisting, and switch. Reach. Slowly back to center. And let it go. Nice, you guys. Hopefully you get that idea of this end position. Yeah, it's where we want to end. But what happens from here to here? It's not just a huh, huh. It's that, can we grow? Can we twist? Can we lengthen? Can we suck our muscles to the bones as we stretch, right? So stretch is still work, and it's so yummy, and it's so important. So you're going to come off of your pillow. So again, anytime you can add any of these props if you're needing to modify for your body, okay? So we're going to get rid of all of those. You're going to take your hands underneath your shoulders, and you're going to step your feet back into your plank position. And I want you to widen your feet. We're just going to push from pike to plank for a few rounds. So think down dog. Take a breath. You're going to exhale, pike your tail. If your heels don't reach the ground, that is okay. That's it. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale back into your plank. Inhale. Exhale. Shift. If you have to adjust the feet or hands, do so. And then shift back into your plank. Gorgeous, guys. Yes, you can. Push out of the ground. Press back. Opening the back line. Big jackknife. And then back down. One more time. Lengthen it. Breathe into it. Hold it here. Drive up onto those toe beds, those toe mounds, and then slowly drop the heels. Maybe they don't reach the ground. That's okay. Think of that articulation. Rising up. Slowly lowering. If this is too much blood flow to the head, you're going to come back into your plank position and hold it. Rise. And then slowly articulate and lower. One more time. Rising. Slowly lowering. And then shift into your plank position. Take a breath. You're going to bring your right leg forward. We're going to go into pigeon. You can modify this however you need to. You're going to slide the left leg back and down. That front leg can either be pointed toe, flexed foot. You're going to try and sink down into it as much as you can. Depending on your range, you could be up here. It could be tucked here. You want to go where you feel it, but where you can let go into it. So this is where you might want your pillows. You might want your block, because I want you to let go. So if that means you're here, then that's where you go, right? But I want you to melt. So maybe you stack those fists. I always like this one. So come down into it and just breathe. So we're opening your quad and hip flexor on that long left leg. We're tapping into your glute, hamstring, into that abductor line, into the twist of the body as that leg is wrapped onto you. Breathe into it and let it melt. As you melt and breathe, maybe you can lower yourself a little further. I don't want anything to be held here, so just let it go. Every exhale, you can still think about the ribs funneling down towards the hips. There's still connection. Every inhale, the ribs expand. Every exhale, you let go a little deeper. If at any point it's feeling like you're done, you just slowly take your time and you come out of it. One more inhale breath. This time on the exhale, you're going to slowly bring your body up. The hands are back in your start position. You're going to curl the back toe under, and you're going to just lift that back leg. So you're still down into it, but you're now really opening into your quad and hip flexor and in through your abdominals. Just breathe here. Push out of those hands, lift yourself up back into that plank, and then you're going to take the left leg forward. Remember, it might be completely different than the right. You're going to lower, you're going to lengthen the leg out, and then you're going to walk yourself down. You could be here. You could be here, right? Use your pillows, use your props, use your hands. Breathe into it and let go. Flex or point the toe to help protect the knee. Find a position that's comfortable. You're trying to strive to have that right hip facing the ground. It's hard not to roll out and open here, but just keep thinking about that gathering or spiraling in to feed and breathe into the stretch. And just allow with every breath your body to melt. It is just so yummy to move slowly like this. And it's just so good to connect your breath to that letting go, that release. At any point in your day when it gets crazy, you could just sit and connect to your breath and that rise and fall of your chest, the opening out and funneling in of your ribs as you breathe, and it can completely change that moment for you. One more big inhale. As you exhale, you're going to bring those hands underneath you again. The back toes curl under. Take a breath. You're going to lift that back leg up. Just breathe into the hip flexor and quad, the abdominals. Oh, feels so good. One more big breath, pushing yourself up, bringing that foot back. You're going to drop the knees wide, toes together. If you have a ball or a block or something or a pillow close by, gather it. You're going to melt your spine back. Just have that close by. Push the heels of your hands into the mat and scoop the belly back to you. So you're not in a child's pose. You're in a rounded, flexed spine. You're in shell, carving the belly, pushing the ground away to feed that carve. If you can't get your seat to your toes, that's okay. Take your pillow or your block behind you so you can relax into it. Breathe. Keep pushing the ground away from you. And then articulate and restack your bones up nice and tall. If you have the pillow or ball behind you, bring it out. If it's a ball, you can roll it forward. If it's a pillow or a block, you're going to slide it forward. So you're going to take a breath, nice and tall, and you're going to roll or slide it forward. I like to karate chop here. It's a nice angle for my shoulders. And I'm going to melt into it. So again, you might be higher. That's okay. You're still going to feel it. So I'm going to lengthen out, and I'm really feeding into the sideline of my body, right into my armpits, stretching it all out, breathing through the length of my spine wherever I'm at. It's so important to listen to your body and meet your body where it's at today. Each day is completely different. And don't be so hard on yourself. I know we have those days where we think, what? Seriously? Am I going backwards? You know what? Sometimes we have to do that little jog back in order to get gains forward, and it's okay. Breathe. Take one more big inhale breath here. And then you're going to exhale from the tail. You're going to start to scoop and round. Think of that cat. Restack all the way back up. Nice. We're going to do that again, but we're going to take it to each side. So you're going to roll or slide your block forward and then slide it out to the side. So I'm kind of clapping my hands together here, and I'm going to sink into it. So the stretch on my right arm is so delicious. So breathe into that. You can kind of rest on it as long as it's a safe place for your elbow. And breathe. Keep thinking about a little bit of connection through that belly. Keep kind of scooping the belly in towards the spine so you're not just kind of letting everything go sloppy. You're still connected. And then one more big inhale and exhale, and you're going to pull and carve back up through center. Nice. You're going to flip those hands, and you're going to slide it out. And if the clapped hand doesn't work, figure out an angle or anything that works for you. You're going to roll it out to the left side, and you're going to breathe, to the right side, and breathe into that left arm. Breathe into it. Stay connected to the breath. One more big inhale. And then exhale, scooping low belly, carving it back to center. And restacking it. So good, you guys. Awesome. You're going to let go of this. And this is where you're going to take either your yoga band or a TheraBand or a belt. I'm just going to do a little leg release. You're going to come onto your back. Make sure you've got a bit of space around you. Planting the feet. You're going to bring one leg in. With the TheraBand, you kind of have to hook it around your foot if that's what you're using. And then you're just going to lengthen your leg as much as you can, whatever feels good. And you're going to press the heel towards the sky, toes to the nose. I'm going to take both bands into one hand. I'm going to use my opposite arm as my kickstand or anchor. And I'm just going to keep wrapping to the center line of this leg as I just gently open this leg into a nice adductor stretch. So I'm not like blah, letting it go. I'm still connected through my pelvis, through my torso, rib to hip connection with my breath, and just breathe here. Maybe you can play with it. With every exhale, you let it go a little, just as long as you're not hanging into that joint. It's controlled. Breathe. One more big inhale. You're going to exhale, pulling it back to center. You're going to lengthen the right leg out. You're going to cross the left toes over towards the center line. Take both bands or straps or belt into the opposite hand. And then you're just gently going to cross that leg over the body. The toe is gently pointing towards the ground or on an angle. You're getting into that IT band. Shoulders are staying connected to the ground. This hip will lift a little if you have that much range. And you can play with if you're down here, up here. Play with where it feels good and serves your body. Use the breath. That exhale breath is staying connected to that center line so that I'm not just flopping over. Breathe into it so it's actually helping me increase that stretch. And I'm going to pull back to center, and then I'm going to bring that opposite leg up. It's going to come into the band. Other leg is going to bend. I'm going to push up and into that band. Anchor with my left arm. Both bands are in my right. Gathering through the center line of my left as I stabilize and I open my leg to the right into that adductor stretch. Breathe into it. Maybe with every breath you can let it go a little bit further. You can play with the angle. Still wrapping and connecting to your center. One more big inhale. Exhale, pulling back to the center line. You're going to lengthen the left leg long, but it's still on. Switch the bands into the other hand. Cross the toe. And then start to pull that leg. But it's not like a heavy pull. It's just where do I feel this? And you might feel it immediately. And just breathe into that space. You don't want pain. You want to feel it, but you don't want to breathe into something that's harsh. So back it off, back into it again. Play with it. Start to read your body. Maybe you play with the angle that it's at. One more big inhale. Exhale, pulling everything back to center. Bending that leg, and you're just going to release that foot down. You're going to bring your knees into your chest. And you're just going to squish. Squish up and down the shins. Squish into the skin. Squish. Squish into the spine and that curl. Now hold them. Give it a little rock side to side. Taking a breath here. You're going to release the legs, or release one leg, or roll over onto your side if you like. And you're going to come up. All right, your grand finale for today. If you have some sort of squishy balls, okay, or tennis balls or something like that, we're going to use it. So above your tail, it's like a diamond shape almost, okay? Or maybe you want to think of a triangle shape. but it's we're going to get into your sacrum. And I want you to think of the outer sides of that sacrum is where you want these balls to be. So if it's not making sense in your body, you could go up onto one single ball. You could go onto a block or pillow. The idea is we are just lifting up and allowing our hips and hip flexors and pelvis to open, as well as getting a little bit of pressure point into some yumminess in that low back. So there might be moments where this feels like a pressure point where you're like, I don't know if I like this. Breathe into it for a little bit, and if you're still not liking it, move the balls a little or the pillow a little bit, and then just see if you can find a place where you can let go. We're just going to breathe here. We're not doing anything too crazy. So I want you to come back onto your back. You're going to plant your feet, and you're going to find that pelvic wheel, roll into the rib wheel, and roll up into your bridge. Take a breath at the top, and then from the sternum, drip the spine as you articulate back down. Let's do 2 more. Rolling through the pelvis, through the rib wheel, breathing at the top, energy, shoulders out the knees, and then dripping the spine, melting all the way back down. Last time, big breath, exhale, slurping the belly to the spine. Keep curling and articulating into that nice long neutral line. Take a breath at the top, and then you're articulating back down, rolling and releasing, allowing breath in between each vertebra at the bottom. Take a big inhale here, push into the feet, and from the hips you're going to lift and just hover. Or you're going up as high as it is to get the balls or pillow underneath your sacrum. If you've got 2 separate balls, you're going to kind of get into the muscle belly, but a little bit higher than right into your glute. And kind of play with it. It might take you a second to find that spot. And if it's a spot where you're like, I don't know if it's the right spot, try it. Because if it doesn't feel perfectly yummy at first, you might be in the right spot. So take a breath here, and I want you to just close your eyes and just relax. Try to relax. If the pressure point feels like a lot, it might take a little bit to get there. Take your hands actually with your thumbs on your the base of your ribs and your fingers towards your hip bones. And just imagine that connection, the suspenders. As you inhale, they flare up and out. As you exhale, they funnel in and down. That's it. Big breath in and up. And exhale. Nice rise and fall. Soften the breath. Take the arms by the side. Push into the feet. And you're going to take an inhale breath, and you're going to exhale, and you're going to just lift the left leg up into tabletop. And just the left leg is going to tap from the hip, lift up. So where that ball is, or pillow, it might be sort of massaging into it. Breathe, use that breath. One more time. Toe, ball, heel, plant, and let it go. Breathe. Exhale, think of that connection as you lift up the right. And you're going to tap and lift and tap and lift. 2 more times. Keep connecting and lifting. Last one. And then you're going to lower it, toe, ball, heel, and let it go. Breathe here. Take your knees together, knock knee, feet wide, so you can just turn that off. Stop thinking about it. Bring your breath into your arms and reach towards the sky. And I want you to reach the fingertips up, the shoulders come off, And then exhale, anchor the shoulders down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, anchor down. And reach. And down. One more time. Reach. And down. Hold it here. Big inhale overhead, reaching, not touching the ground. Exhale, funnel ribs to hips, controlling through that torso. Inhale, control the popping ribs. Exhale, funneling in and down. 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. This time you're going to inhale overhead. You're going to bend the elbows to the side like you're doing some sort of a snow angel, and then reach back overhead. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Exhale. You're going to reverse it. You're going to inhale. Exhale. Lowering, staying connected through your center. Squeeze those legs together. Articulating through the shoulder joint. You're going to leave it at the top. Take a big breath. Exhale, ribs to hips. And then palms up and lower down. Nice. So you could be palms up here, palms down, side, whatever's comfortable for your shoulder to try and get it to open and release. Taking a breath, you're going to bring those feet back into hip width. Think about the tripod of the foot we started with, the anchoring through those toe mounds, the suction through the arch, pushing into the heel. Take a deep breath in here, and you're going to articulate up and off of your ball or pillows. Take a breath, and you're going to start to curl the pelvic wheel, rib wheel, all the way up into that nice big hip roll or bridge. You're going to take your balls or your single ball or your pillow out or your block. Take a breath at the top. And you're going to exhale from the sternum. Really think about taking the time to release through each vertebra all the way back down. Lengthening, finding the sit bones. Lengthen your legs all the way out. And let it go, you guys. Just breathe here. Don't hold anything. Hopefully you can feel the release from having the balls or pillows underneath your back, the space that's been created. Just allow your breath to flow. Don't worry about the ribs funneling to the hips, holding the legs or arms. Breathe. Big inhale, filling up the body with everything new and yummy and good. Exhale, you're funneling in and down and connecting, but releasing what you don't need to hold on to anymore. Inhale and exhale. Two more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Put your hands on your belly. Allow yourself to feel your belly rise. Your ribs, everything fill with breath. And on this last exhale, feel everything funnel in and down and release and let go. On this next inhale, start to drag one leg in and then the other. Take a big breath, bring one knee in, or you're going to roll onto your side, or roll yourself back up. You're going to scooch yourself around, or I am, so that you can see me. And just sit cross-legged. You could be up back onto your block or pillow here. You're going to take one hand to the side, one hand up. So here's the side bend from the beginning, but here we are in a seated position. You're going to glide that arm, and you're going to push the heel and reach that top arm and ground through that outside hip, breathing into that big side stretch, reaching up, and then you're going to restack your bones a little taller, hopefully. Lengthen that arm up, slide and glide that arm out, push into the heel of your hand, reach through that top arm, breathe through the side body, carving the underside, opening the top side, grounding through the hip. Breathe into it, reaching back up, and then ground and restack the bones. And take a great big breath up. And then you're going to exhale, palms up. You've let go of stuff, so now your palms are up, so you're ready to receive new good stuff. Okay? That's it for today, you guys. I hope that felt yummy. I hope you were able to release and let go and melt a little bit. And that sort of work would be yummy in the morning or at night, middle of the day, when you get home from work. It's good all the time, that stuff. It's always good. It's never not good. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you feel a little more connected yet released. And have an amazing day. Okay, bye guys.